We are live and back again. Hey guys.
Hello, Stuart. Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Not too bad. And for those watching on the afterplay, we already filmed a dedicated edited review on this topic earlier, which will come out later. So we have some fun ideas that were done in that. So check out that for a nice condensed version of this more broad topic, which is fun because we've obviously had we did those straight after. So now we've listened to the fan thoughts, feedbacks, our own thoughts, feedbacks. So it's a, evolving conversation, but people enjoy the short one as well. So check that out when that comes out as well.
Indeedly doodly.
Yes.
And we haven't forgotten it's Tuesday. Titan Tuesday is still around. It'll be out soon.
Oh, yes.
We're releasing in like 13 minutes. So
Yes.
this live is over. Go check it out. But yeah, hit the like button and let's talk about lore being back for season 3.
Just doing a poll.
The ghost of Q's left eyebrow. Nice name. I honestly don't care how or why he's back. I just can't wait for the season to start. Wow. We want to have a fun discussion about it, so
I care. Because there could be silly reasons why, which would make the whole season worse, or very smart reasons, which might be, ooh, well, that's ingenious, etc. The thought that goes in is often more interesting than the event itself. Yeah. Because it's like, oh, the logic and the.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have a good discussion about it, and be a shorter live. We're gonna be about an hour and a half. So, but anyway, we want to hear your thoughts. So super chat in.
Yeah.
Ozzy's already dropped a super chat, $2. It says red alarm alert. Red alarm alert. Thank you, Ozzy. Much appreciated.
Indeed. And yes, it's funny, I wrote some pack lids the other week, so it's kind of funny I did something else.
Samuel's had a busy day of filming, so...
Yes.
Track short stuff.
Yes, and I will start sharing. I'll see you in a minute.
Go for it. So yeah, 29 of you here, 18 likes. Guys, hit that like button. If you haven't already, let's try to get up to 50 likes right away. Right now, there's 32 of you, so people are jumping in, which is great. Don't forget to vote on the poll as well. I'll read the poll off when Samuel gets back. But yeah, so hit the like button. Consider joining the channel, supporting us any way you can, either by joining the channel or heading over to Patreon/Trekyards. Help us on a monthly basis there, or just by super chatting during the live. Let us know your thoughts, feelings, anything you need to talk about regarding the lore. We want to talk about it, so let us know. Also, just sharing the video around, making sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our great content or our lackluster content if you want. And make sure that the bell icon is clicked to all so you don't miss any of the uploads that we do. Because we do a lot. We're going to have a lot more coming out when Picard's back. So also, there are other ways to help us out. Get some cool Trekyards merch in the process. Click the links down below in the description of every video to check out the Teespring and the TeePublic store. A lot of really fun. Ow, really, that hurt. Ow. A lot of really fun Trekyards merchandise there, so check that stuff out and help us out in that way if you can. All right. Yes, love him. No, don't like him, or he's okay. Go vote.
So where do you stand on lore the character then? What's your personal love, history with the alter ego Brent Spiner?
He's all right. I think he's a little overdone at times, just the way he acts. But I mean, that's part of the programming that's going wrong as well. So it makes him a little off kilter. But honestly, he's a good villain to have, or antagonist. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him come back and see what capacity he's actually coming back in. Who revives him? Do they find that he's been reassembled, or do they seek him out to reassemble themselves? So I honestly like lore, and I'm happy to have him back. But I don't know. It's just a shame that they had to bring lore in for the final season, because they already kind of killed off Data.
And before.
Yeah, and before.
All the old legacy Brents.
Yeah.
Killing off one by
So,
one.
how about you? What have you thought of Lore so far?
I mean, I don't know how you could dislike him. I mean, he's such a, there's obviously a daft trope in all comics where their greatest enemy is just the sort of mirror of themselves.
Yeah.
Which is lame if you really think about it. But also, how do you fight a god unless you're also a god? How do you fight someone who could walk, step as fast as the speed of light? Well, you need someone else that can do it. There is a logic to that, even if it makes it narratively somewhat dull. But to introduce such a visceral character so early on, because we were surprised how full on the character was from 2 appearances and then Descent, which we don't have to talk about Descent ever. But 2 appearances is enough to kind of give it some oomph. The here's Law, and then there's the humanizing of being forced to be in scenes with the other 2 Brents. It's more of a testament to the skill of Brent Spiner, because Data and Law are radically different performances despite being the same face. That's the testament to why the character works so well, because he is not at all Data despite being everything Data is. And as we know from the show, that Law is actually too well made. He was too human. He was too lifelike. He'd actively degrade version 3, I suppose, if you can be 4, to make an android people accept. So he's a superior version, but in a similar vein to the augments, superior ambition or superior ability breeds superior ambition. Data is missing the emotions to create those said things. So Law is a very good testament to what could happen if, and then on steroids, because he's also a bit of a dick.
Yeah. Ray Ricks throws in £2 and says, "Grumpy old man Lore.
Yeah.
Get off my starship."
Yeah.
And Lazarus too says, also, why would he age? Because it was established early on that Data could in fact age. His mother aged. I don't know why that's an issue for so many people. It was actually stated in canon, if you want to be technical.
I mean, in fairness, I agree with you. In fairness, there's dialogue where Data says he falls down to the bottom of a lake because he's made of metal, and then 2 seasons later and 2 movies later, he's now designed a flotation device. So they just because one thing is said, the other thing can be said as well.
They upgraded him because he sank, so they put a flotation device in just in case.
It makes sense if it didn't say, designed, because it was not designed to be a flotation device. But yes, certainly upgraded after. No, I mean, I don't know why people are saying, why can't he age? It's a nonsensical thing. And besides, he's not aging. The skin's aging. There's no chance he's less capable. He's a robot. Like, in terms of the physical strength, like that stuff's not going to degrade. Certainly not in that many years. I mean, okay, fine, I could buy a Brent Spiner story in Discovery Season 4 where we see another Sung android and he's degraded to the point where he's now weak. That sort of thing I'd buy. But this is just because the fleshy part of the body has aged because, Sung didn't want an immortal life form. He was going to make more. They're life form. They're people to him. They're his children. If they're not aging, you age out of relationships very quickly, because if you're, looking like young Brent and then everyone else dies around you, still young Brent, versus, and I'm sure, not even for a second confusion, that you could easily have, dermal regeneration, reconstruction, that you could make a Law look like a young Law if he so wanted to at 180 years, get the surgery, bam, he's looking young again. It's just the outer flesh. I mean, remember, the skin gets ripped off in First Contact and he puts new skin on. Like, literally taken off, put on, taken off, put on. So, I mean, the skin can be re-put on. So, of course, it can be look younger. It's a purely aesthetic choice by them.
And you got to think, too, like, Lore was disassembled the last time we saw him by Data. And so was his consciousness is transferred into new android, or a new Sung android that could age, or age more realistically or something. I don't know. That's definitely a possibility. We don't have the answers here yet. But the aging thing doesn't bother me, honestly. I like what you said about the skin essentially aging, and yeah, so that works for me.
There is so many in-universe explanations that require no leaps of any kind, And Bill says, well, they showed de-age Q. Well, yeah, Q would not age. Like, he's not. That's not his body.
Unless he wanted to. Yeah.
Because he's a snake floating ball, a floating ball with snakes. So that's what he looks like. He's showing a form that is, Q, who can look however he wants. So that was always going to be nonsensical, non sequitur. Plus, as we said in our other episode, it's very, very, very possible this is a synth organic body that was developed because they had the androids. Maddox went off and did his own thing years ago, and very likely he'd use. I mean, I would assume this is where they're going. I would assume that they took Law's remains, his deactivated body, as a baseline to create new androids. Given that that's like the cheat code, you've got a fully functioning, fully working android. He's there. They study him. At some point, one of the children of that Sung reactivate him. He goes a little bit wackadoodle, leaves, but now he's in an enhanced, or he downloads into a better body. Now he's aging naturally. There's loads you could do with that very, very easily. Yeah.
Lazarus says, I know that, but how would Lore be older? He's been on a shelf for 20 years. Data's head didn't age after 500 years. He's also disconnected from his body, so...
Well, but so would Lore be. I mean, but he was in a cave with alien tech, time dilation tech. Like, it was the same cave. I mean, who's to say the particulates left by the time travel reaction by those snake creatures preserved basic biomatter? I mean, there you go. Because it wasn't just a head in the cave. It was a special sci-fi thing. It was a radical premise, or even maybe going back in time left him in a certain state of flux, so he wasn't, ostensibly in stasis.
Yeah.
Maybe even similar to what you just said, but more thought out. Maybe when plugged in to a power source, the skin ages with the body, but entirely removed from any power, it doesn't. It just becomes basically plastic, and they kept Law's synapses active to take data from, as in information, as to be a baseline for the synths, which would also really, really help season 1, because if Law was the basis for the synth organics on the planet, then that would explain why Soji was a mass murderer. Took it from the Law side. So there's a very easy line to help that stuff.
Yeah. And speaking of mass murderers, it's time for an ad.
Imagine if it's the Disney Channel, like...
Take that as you will.
Who knows what I just had.
Ray Ricks, £5. Soji and friends could have got Uncle Lore and given him a more advanced body. Yeah.
Yeah.
And aged him even though he didn't want to be aged. Lore was one that...
a punishment.
Maybe even. Thought that humans were weak, and you would assume he wouldn't want to age, but maybe he doesn't have a choice.
Or maybe, double down on this, maybe you don't age until the emotion chip goes in your brain. And
then you start aging.
Exactly, and so that's why he suddenly accentuated his aging, and that's why he didn't age in TNG, because he didn't have the chip until in Generations. Boom, there's that plot hole filled. And Law had it much earlier. Now, I know it was removed, but I assume he'd get another one because he wants to feel blah, 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 blah. I mean, there you go. Maybe emotions is, the catalyst, as in, to feel is to live is to die. So that's the choice of any android. Mic drop. That's dialogue I should write down. That's actually quite proud of, actually.
That's really good, yeah. Write it down.
What did I say?
I don't remember. To live is to die is to live.
To die is to age, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's lots of answers for it. I don't have a problem with the aging thing, honestly. I'm sure it'll be... Actually, I'm not sure it will be addressed.
No, it will. There'll be something. Just for what he's been up to. Not that he looks old, just the fact that he's been doing stuff enough to generate a problematic life. And you're like, whatever. Yeah. Because they would know that people are going to think, it's an android. Why is Android aging? They did it for... because remember, Q was in Terry's episodes, and he, spent money to make that happen, right? So I could see them doing it for this as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting story regardless. Why is Lore back? is it a surprise to the Enterprise crew, or did Geordi decide that, hey, you know what, we need lore back for some reason? Maybe we can reconstitute Data in lore now, because we do see him hooked up to a thing.
Yep.
Like the transfer cable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I would love to see Data like slowly during the course of the season start coming through. So yeah, that would be pretty awesome and kind of like a split personality type deal.
Thanks, Bill. Well, it's an odd one because lore assumptioning brings threat, brings evil, but that could be a twist. You know, we have 3 ostensive villains: Moriarty, Christopher Plummer's daughter, and Lore, and Time. I guess, you know, Patrick's aging. So, you know, a twist is that one is not a villain. A twist is that 2 are not villains. You know, that is a possibility. You know, so villain expectations for the sake of it is not good, but bringing back Lore to be a villain is fine. But, you know, it's almost more interesting if he's there to do a greater good situation, ends up being he's right. You know, he is doing the right thing the right thing for the right reasons, but in the wrong way. You know, the lack of morality of the android perspective. Maybe, you know, one of the crew, Geordi or whatever, needs a figure who can outthink, outact something else. Here's Lore. And then it goes off.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Bill, I wish we could never age. That'd be great. Trek or not, they better have fitted him with fail-safes tied into a system so that they can shut him down easily. Yeah. Otherwise, these Starfleet experts... Not so expert.
No, that's true. Yeah. Because we did that in Insurrection. Now, it's not that difficult, relatively speaking.
Yeah. And what would you think of if Lore was in fact reconstructed by Maddox and escaped or something, and was responsible for the attack on Mars?
We've talked about that. It's brilliant.
The whole synth ban. Yeah, I think that would be good. If it could be worked in.
Because why did the synths go rogue? What was the reason again? It wasn't the
There's the bad
androids.
treatment of the androids. Like, they were treated like slaves, I guess. I think that's the.
But did they go evil? They were in the ships, or were they controlled? Because wasn't the Jat Vash that hacked them? Wasn't that a thing?
I don't think that was ever confirmed. No.
I feel like that's what they said.
I mean, it could be.
I don't remember. Well, you know, you were paying attention, Stuart. We really, really were paying attention.
I know.
Don't be saying that. So the fact that we don't remember is kind of worrying. But I mean, it makes 1,000,000,000% better if you know their programming is just defective based off. Yeah, because of course you've got B4, you've got Lore. Well, one is inferior, one is superior, and one's got massive personality quirks. Well, if you're suddenly building a slave race of androids, you know, you need to be at least stable, but to work. So based off of Lore's code is great. Hackable, evilable, yeah. That was a lot of depth.
It was Revolution by Soji and Friends.
No, that was later. They were still on their planet.
Jasper Jedi, $5.
Thank you.
Y'all think all of those things we've seen in the trailers will be all part of one plot of threads? Or will it be like a B or even C plot? I don't think they're going to have B and C plots. I think it's going to be very focused. Terry said it's like a movie, so there's not going to be much side stuff going on.
Or there is side, but it's actually part of the plot just later on. Like, it is the A plot, just in branches.
Yeah. So, I think the things we've seen in the trailer are pretty spot on. Like, Lore or Moriarty, or either one were brought in for a reason. I like the fact that Moriarty might have been brought in to defeat Lore because he was basically, when he was created, slip of the tongue made it, you know, he was supposed to be able to defeat Data. That would be cool, but
or reverse it. Moriarty was brought in and Lore was there to take him out. It works either direction depending who the villain is. Because I would be certainly interested if Lore is more of a Deadpool-like character, anti-hero. Deadpool murders people like no one's business, so would Lore, but you still root for him and his dick jokes. Not say Brentwood, but
Yeah. Um, yeah, I would think for. Let's see. It would be interesting to see if lore references any of the events in the past times we saw in the episodes of TNG. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I want some kind of callbacks there and some explanations as to what the hell is happening. I don't want to just like, oh, we should. Lore's back. Oh my God, how'd that happen? I don't know. We're not going to talk about it. Let's move on. That would be awful.
Or all of his scenes from the trailer are his only scenes.
Oh, good God. I don't think that would be the case at all.
He attacks the ship and leaves in the same episode.
Raffi investigated why he met Rouge. A rogue. Perhaps his aging and his thoughts on it are in the parallel Picard's ongoing death. We can explore a lot. What you mean by that? Let's see. First contact, you've been a member for 33 months at the rank of commander. Thank you. Because Laura didn't use emotion chip to get emotions. No, he didn't use it to get emotions. He wanted to get it because Data wanted it, and he was being an asshole.
Well, it did give him real emotions. I think the context of the episode was because you wouldn't have to make an emotion chip if Laura had emotions built 10 years earlier. It was that Law had a program that emulated emotions and they led to problems. It's all one big jumbled mess versus this chip is very much more pure. It just allows the access of real emotions. Mm-hmm. And so because Law did act differently after the chip, not too differently, but also it had to be removed from Data to Law to go to Data, etc. So it was still an upgrade either way. And if you think you feel something, you're feeling it, but also there's more genuine version, I guess. Yeah.
I love the idea though that once the chip was installed, it just activated a subroutine that just okay, you want emotions, that means you're going to want to age and grow old with somebody, possibly blah blah blah, and even if you take it out, it keeps going, at least the aging process.
I mean, the joke is we know that he is fully functional, which means that Sung had to utilize that, add that feature. And so if he had intended for the Data style android to be able to age and meet somebody and be as close to human, then it makes sense then to give them things, build all in at the start. Yeah, it's I mean, Sung was, they've said previously, Sung is the single most genius roboticist ever. Never been beaten, never been close, and all future androids are based on Sung. So, once the message, the genie's out of the bottle, that's it. But he is the guy. So there's a real refreshingness, like a continuity. Yeah, Law helped create these people. It all kind of based on the same thing. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I wonder if it ties in too with AI Soon, the new Soon that was with Soji and her peeps.
Yeah, the long lost son.
Yeah, not that we need another one, but
no.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just want a good explanation. I would love that Geordi decides, you know what, we're going to try to get Data back because we need to for whatever reason, and pulls Laura out of mothballs, reassembles them, which could be the case. He is wearing a Starfleet type uniform.
Yep.
Laura's stolen Data's uniform before, so
every time we see him, he's in uniform.
Yeah.
Either be Packlet uniform.
Yeah.
Or Starfleet.
Yeah, exactly. Whether he stole a uniform or if this is more like a technician type uniform or something that they just put on him that they had available, I don't know. But it's good seeing him in those, and I really hope that Data in some form comes back for this season. I'd be ashamed to have the last season with the entire crew together and not have any Data at all.
It's very likely we might get a singular Data holographic record, to my even to my long lost brother, if you ever come back, and it's Brent playing DH Data, a single shot, locked off, hologram, really nice de-age, to Brent, to Law. Maybe make Law go good for the final bit. Kind of like how Kess's redemption was by seeing a younger Kess to put into perspective again, and then you would technically have Law and Data in the season.
Yeah. Well, there's context, as I disagree with the commander. Soon left out the emotions on Data because he saw them as part of the reason Laura was unstable. Yes, and then created the emotion chip for Data's programming. So when Laura put it in himself, Soon actually said to him, that wasn't designed for you, which causes the conflict. That could be why Laura is actually aging, because the conflicting programs, whatever. So yeah, he perfected this. He perfected the emotions thing. That's why he created the chip for Data. Because yes, it was the problem with Lore. They got a little out of hand, but they were already rooted in his base programming. Whereas this was something that was worked on for quite a number of years to create this emotion chip for Data specifically.
But clearly it wasn't the emotions that were the problem, it's the everything put together.
Yeah.
Otherwise they wouldn't have given Data emotions ever. And they did. So, yeah.
Yeah. Casual Trekker throws in $5. Thank you so much. Data aged the entirety of TNG and the movies. Just look at him from season to season. He isn't identical to how he looks as he in the season 7. It's true. Of course it's true. And it even goes to the line in the trailer of, all the people you know, do you think they're the same, or whatever the line was? I can't remember it exactly. All the people you knew, are they the people you know? Because people change. So.
And it is, it's really, really, really unfair to say a 30-year-old shouldn't look 30 when he's in his late 60s, 70s. I mean, it's an actor aging. It's not unreasonable, and he still looks, good considering. Fatter and older and wrinkly, but he's much older. Would you rather not have Brent Spiner? Would you rather have someone else play him? And now, forever you say that's Data, and it's like, but it's not Data. Really, you want that? You want a Data? You want a Brent lookalike to play Data officially for the next however many times, and throw Brent away? Really? I don't get and you can't do that much de-aging on that level of budget. And his face is fatter. That's part of the problem. So that is then Marvel level de-aging that did Captain America, and that is. I mean, talking tens of millions, which is like episodes worth of budget, literally.
Yeah.
But that obviously for that movie was one of the core principles. Was one of our two leads is de-age the entire film. Obviously, it's a whole thing. It's just, and also it's really good to see an older Law because it shows it gives you a sense of cruciality to this, that he won't be around forever if the data chip is properly is whatever. If it was just the same face somehow through massive de-aging, it would be more abstract. Look, it's Law. It's weird. I don't know. That's just me. I would still be fine with it, but I actually think it's kind of. I prefer the idea that he's got more to it.
Yeah. Merlos says Data had his final death with Picard. Right. Yes, both of them. The one where he sacrificed himself for Picard, and then the one where the memory engrams of Data, it was not really Data, it was in a computer for years.
That was
both deaths were with Picard.
Because remember, guys, that Data was a fully realized Data clone, reconstructed from a single strand, single thing of Data's DNA. Which by itself is a ridiculous concept, because of course you can't summarize 10 trillion gigabytes in one DNA thing. Otherwise, data's made up of 50 billion data. This is stupid. The real data engrams are still somewhere or deleted for B4. That was not the real Data. That was a version of a Data, right? It's like it's exactly like how the EMH is like alive in post Voyager, but he also exists in the year 3000. They're both him, but he's not the original anymore. Once it moved past that time, he's now been. So you can both be valid, but not the original. So in the same concept.
Yep, absolutely. Matthew DeFreitas, $20.
Yes, thank you so much.
excited to see Brent again. He's super nice. Had a fun conversation with him at 2017 convention, but I feel like the lore character is a been there, seen that. Wondering what else they could do that has impact. Like I said, this is the last time they're probably getting the cast together, unless they do another movie or something. They have to have a good idea for this, because to just have lore back and just be lore, it's not the same as having data back. So it is a been there, seen that thing, but a lot of the things in Star Trek are, right? Like the Borg, been there, seen that. Don't have to bring them back necessarily, but
also, how is 4 appearances in 30 years overused? I don't understand what you mean. You want Data's brother to be a one-use character? I don't get the logic there. Like, he wasn't used every season. He didn't come... Like, Q, if anything, is overused because he was brought back in every show. Like, that sort of character... If you're going by more than 3 appearances overused, Q is so much overused. I don't get the logic there. If anything, Lore's underused. Lore should have come back in DS9 or Voyager. DS9, really, because Voyager's far away. Like, Brent should have been obviously a guest star in DS9, like Riker was. That was a really, really good episode where Thomas was in. That was really, really good. They did a lot of great stuff. I mean, the beard reveal is super clever. It was genius. Like, date Lore back, because then, in the same logic, but, Brent comes in, he's aged a bit, he's wearing an odd uniform. Like, why is Data in a weird uniform? He's saying, oh, I've done this and this. And then it's freaking Lore, and it's great. It would have been the obvious thing to do, just like EMH being brought back in Prodigy or Picard. Like, these characters could be brought back in multiple fields. It's shocking they don't. Just saying.
James Crawfield, just wipe Lore, upload Data's programming into Lore, no more evil psychotic android to worry about. You say that, but I have a feeling that the older programming, the base programming in Lore,
the more advanced,
or less advanced, would
his
less advanced body would maybe reject the data elements.
Oh,
it's probably not as simple as that. Let's just put it that way. It's like trying to play an old computer game on a new computer. It's not just as simple as install it and go at it. You got to do some things, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, but I actually think Lore is a more advanced subroutine. Data was a pared back version with less features. So I can actually see, we were both saying Data might be able to take over Lore's body. What if vice versa? What if Lore's taking over Data's body, and it's kind of a fight of attrition there?
Yeah. Casual Trekker, though, $5.
Hey,
Cap, the line you just said, I think, needs more than scrutiny, because someone else other than the old gang said it, especially after what Bev said. Oh, everybody you knew, are they who you know, or whatever? Yeah. Well, it's true. I mean, literally, you change every minute of the day because you get new experiences and new whatever. That's what I think they're referring to. Just people change over time. Bill Barkley says, I think the best theory is that Lore and Moriarty have been brought to go up against somehow in some way Vatic. Amanda Palmer. Why?
And they both hate the Enterprise crew, so you'd think Vatic would actually let them loose as psychics, actually, if you're going to go down that route. The question is, are we going to see the Daystrom Institute's AI sentient lab? Because in theory, you could put both these people as just like, what's the guy's name? What's the crazy guy, the computer in season 2 of Load X? Armis, yes. Yeah, because you could argue.
Not Armis, Agamis.
Thank you, yes. Oh.
Very similar names.
Yes, because you could argue, like I say, there are, murdery, sentient AI people.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to say Data's not sentient. I mean, they literally had an episode proving he's sentient, just the Data version of Lore.
Matt Boardman, trust that Terry and his team are going to give us a meaningful story here that will make sense why Lore is here. Absolutely. I have
Yeah.
faith in Terry and the team. So
That's not the issue. We're trying to work out how.
yeah, or why.
Yeah.
Matt Boardman, $5. Maybe Laura was recovered by Starfleet intelligence and has been forced into
I
working for them.
said that in our video, yeah.
Section 31.
Or Section 32, even more dangerous. Yeah, I mean, we said that ages ago, and it certainly would be a really nice, fun twist if we get this epic de-age flashback of Brent as Lore in like a season, like back in TNG uniforms. There's some officers walk up to this room, take him out, reassemble him. He wakes up. He's looking like as you see on the left there, and then cut to 22 years of active service later or whatever. Now he's been doing Black Ops missions for 20 years because that's pretty, given the Borg situation, he kind of failed miserably. I can imagine his hubris might be slightly deflated.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if he was given sadistic free reign, he would let him be. I mean, it's a hell of a retcon, but it's a hell of a retcon. So bold.
Well, 82 people here, 47 likes. We still haven't hit the 50 I asked for, so hit that like button.
Oh, not the 50, Stuart. What the hell?
I know, right?
Like Spike. People like Spike.
And Ray Ricks throws in £5. Data's tech was more advanced. His emotional development was just locked behind what was essentially checkpoints in development before they unlocked.
Well, I think his hardware was more advanced. I think Data's Lore software is more advanced.
Yes.
I would too real.
I would totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Which one is crazier, Lore or Moriarty? I'd say Lore. I don't think Moriarty is crazy at all. He might be after being trapped in the holo thing for a while and realizing that he was trapped. That might piss him off a bit. But
because part of the genius of Moriarty, he's literally just Moriarty from the Sherlock Holmes. He's quiet, genius, intelligent, rational, charming.
Mastermind.
Yeah, he's not crazy. That's sort of the point. He's too sane. He's so sane he wants to destroy the the world. It's a universe and world. I said girl. That's weird. But I asked a poll. And I said, do you like Lore as a character? We have some striking results here, Stuart. 50% yes, love him. 43% saying he's okay. And a mere 7% no, don't like him. So,
interesting. Oh,
yeah, so I'll start another one. Wonder what you guys think.
All right.
And do we have a super chat goal as well, Stuart? As we are coming up on halfway.
Absolutely. I think another 100 would be awesome, to be fair. But we're doing really well in super chat, so thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
And it's our last day of the month, so this is if we can cross the finish line, it'd be phenomenal.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Lazarus 2 says they probably use Lore to defeat Vadic and Moriarty to control Lore. I like that thinking. That's interesting. I've got to find out who this Vadic is first. Like, what's her importance? That could really dictate why Lore's back, so just don't know yet. Zachary Gibbons says Section 33 is the most dangerous. I thought Section 69 is pretty dangerous.
No, that's the fun section. They have they have too much. They have too much fun. That's dangerous because you can get very into it and lose track of time.
Starship USS Tiho puts in £1 with no comment, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
He has permission to dock Tiho. You always ask. So
read the poll, Stuart. Read the poll.
Oh, we got a new poll. Let's see. Are you more excited for Lore's return, Moriarty's return, or the new Vadic? Yeah, that's a simple one for me.
It's tricky because we know nothing about her, so we can't judge in any meaningful way, right?
Yeah. Bill Barkley says apparently Vadic is supposed to be somehow loosely linked to Khan.
No, just in terms of vibe, like a chasing villain who's got a personal entanglement. That's not. Yeah, nothing beyond that, I think.
And also, Khan is spelled C-H-A-N. It's literally in the name of the movie. I don't know why people misspell it.
The Wrath of Khan, with this hard C. Yeah, Khan.
Let's see. It'll be interesting to see Lore get a redemption arc, so Geordi could have more closure with David's death. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't need him to be a villain, personally. I don't need it. I'm wondering if he isn't. Because, you know, in theory, he is Data's next of kin. Especially as he basically watched the other Data's brother die with, as in B4, with Data's consciousness inside his brain. It you know, corrupted the brain. So he watched his friend die, his friend's less well-able brother die. You know. Boy, Law's like, you were there at my brother's deaths. Sorry.
Ray Ricks, $5. Data had all the laws, all of Lore's abilities, potentially, but soon wanted him to understand what it was to be human first.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I took from Birthright.
Yeah, learn. Yeah. Rather just be
absolutely.
given everything, but we have the strength, power, and intelligence, the sympathy gained by years of living with, you know, striving to be like them gives you a certain level of, not they're better than me, but there's stuff I don't know. Whereas if you're already stronger, smarter, faster, more capable, don't have to sleep, don't have to eat, you know, as soon as you're being asked to like move furniture every day, and then mow the fields, and you know, it's like how if you're a bodybuilder, how quickly until you felt better than your parents would you be when you're moving furniture for them every day? At some point, it's be like, well, you know, I'm obviously stronger than them. I can eat more and I'm faster. You know, it's fair enough. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like James Crawford's idea though. Plot twist: it's actually Moriarty in Lore's body. That would be interesting. And then that's why they go in that one room to separate out Moriarty as a hologram.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah. Oh, so that's why we only technically got one day of Moriarty actor, but really a season of
That'd be interesting because that'd be a good way to take revenge on like Data if you really go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Find out Data's dead and be like, oh shit. So I gotta like go torture his friends now.
or even maybe they work out a way of moving holograms into androids because he can't exist physically without a body. Well, boom, here's an android. That's really interesting. It sort of devalues both a bit because then just like Tuvix means you're not, even though in theory it's both of the characters, in theory, you're not learning anything about each of them individually new. Moriarty in Law's body means it's Brent's acting with Moriarty's writing, but neither get really benefited from the performance except the fun factor, which in itself is not necessarily developing either.
Mm-hmm.
And also want to read Matthew de Freitas's long statement.
Oh yeah, I'd argue that Lore as a character was played out in TNG. How many times can a maniacal character threaten to take over the Enterprise or take over the universe?
Then definitely Q's played out. How many times can a god being play with people's emotions and crew and just flash them in and out of existence? That was definitely played out even before the end of TNG.
Yeah. Well, Lore kind of had a new twist on him every time we saw him, though. He was like going progressively more insane.
Yeah.
A little bit more dangerous.
He did different things every episode. First time it was about living, control, trying to be Data. Second time it was about accidentally throwing himself in his family's way, dealing with the past, dealing with the present, killing both in a sense. Third time it was about control, power, you know, finding a new family to control and have power. You know, they're all different. So,
yeah.
And he didn't try and take over the universe in the first one.
No.
The ship, yes. In the second one, he didn't try and kill the Enterprise crew at all. In the third one, well, they tried to get Data. Like, he wasn't attacking the Enterprise. He tried to get Data. They went after Law. So Law wasn't actively gunning for the Enterprise, specifically. And he could have.
Yeah.
Because, remember, they find the Borg on a colony.
Yes.
And they use the emotion chip bonus buffer thing to tempt Data. So it was a clever ploy. It wasn't just go attack, because they could have just attacked the Enterprise D instantly and taken them, right? There's plans upon plans. I would have seen him a fourth time. I think he definitely could have done with it. Like if you made it seasons 1, 3, 5, and 7, I would love to have seen a more every 2 years like arc development. Personally, yeah.
Tangerine Star 26, £5. Can Lore be redeemed? Would be sad if he were erased to make way for Data without a chance of development. or took the long, hard way around to
Oof.
learning. Well,
Oof.
that's why it'd be cool if Lore agrees to host Data's consciousness, as maybe he thinks it's a way to get revenge on Data because he would take over. But in the process of the two merging, he finds what Data's all about and does get redeemed in the process, and we still get Data back. That might be interesting. But then, does he get overwritten? I don't know. Is he schizophrenic? It's one day he's Lore, one day he's Data. Two different people in one body. I don't know.
I mean, redeem's a hard word because, you know,
Yeah.
he killed the entire colony and then other things. Can you ever redeem from a massacre? You know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't move forward and do good things. I don't think someone will necessarily be defined by their past actions, nor defined by the potential good actions. Everyone's grey anyway. You know, if Law wants to honour Data's memory, if he gives him this potential, this strategy, this thing, you know.
Yeah.
Redeemed is the wrong word for me. The only way you could redo that in the normal narrative sense is the ultimate sacrifice. And it's like, yeah, we did that with Data twice. Like, we've seen Data sacrifice save the Oedipus crew. I don't really want to see Laws the same thing. It will not have meaning to me just because he sacrificed himself. I'd rather do cool things and interesting things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking who Vatic is. Vatic is the new villain, the lady with the hair.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's Dr. Evil's assistant / wife / girlfriend.
Yes.
Yes.
Will Q show up since he's billions of years and died last season? He could show up anytime before or later.
Or after.
I don't-
Time is
Yeah.
non-linear to him.
Yeah, he could show
Well,
up, but I don't think he will.
The universe is non-linear. Time is linear to him. The universe is non-linear to him. Oh, did the hold on? Oh, I think the animation didn't come out because I think it might have been automatic for yesterday or tomorrow. Hold on, I was meant to come out already. Boo.
Titan's Husky Life, and
Yeah,
Nostradamus' prediction claims that someday Disney will own Star Trek and there will be a Planet X encounter and meet the
Let's see.
X-Men.
10.
It's already been done in a novel.
Sorry, that was meant to come out earlier. Now it's rescheduled. There you go.
Preston M, $10.
Thank you.
I
Amazing.
think this Moriarty is more than the Arthur Conan Doyle one because of how he was created
Mhm.
to defeat Data.
Mhm.
And I don't think he is necessarily evil. At least he wasn't when he left the simulation. Exactly. He is definitely more than what Moriarty is, but he had the base whatever of Moriarty, just with the little twist that he should be able to defeat Data.
Well, he's,
yeah, he wasn't evil.
well, he's Moriarty through the eyes of a space opera. You know? He's still Moriarty, he's just plus. You know, I mean, because I feel like the I don't know if you'll agree, but the characterization of the Moriarty character is so specific and distinct. It's rooted down to the core. He wouldn't. I don't know if he could ever change, because he's like Sherlock Holmes would never change. Really change. He'll never be happy living on a farm, working the land. Like he is so specific.
You say that, but when he retired to beekeeping. And just
He retired. Well, I guess you have to retire when you get old enough. But didn't he do? You know.
That was just a bad analogy of picking farming because he did bee farming, essentially beekeeping.
Yeah. But I feel like it'd still be him. He'd still go to the local vicar and help solve mysteries, and he'd still see things and piss people off for his mannerisms, and you know. No, Paul, that was before. Unless it wasn't, but it was told to be before.
Yeah. Ray Ricks, £2. Lal's memories are also in there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, Lal is
And-
in later.
Yeah. And James Crawford again, a good idea. A merge of lore and data could possibly provide stability to lore's mental state. 100% yes. They would each be able to see the other's perspective and become a better person as a result.
Well, I mean, that's actually interesting. Silent Spacer says, the opportunity was there in Season 1 to bring Lore instead of Alton Sung. Well, what if there... I mean, we said this at the time. What if Alton is Lore and there's just he has to come out of the hiding.
Yeah, we said that before. Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a retcon since they didn't intend for that. But I mean, Leia was never Luke's sister until she was. So you can do a giant retcon and still sort of move on past the bit, etc.
Yeah. New Yorker in Vegas. Vadek referring to Lore. Bring in the droid. Exactly. Yes.
Yes. There's another great comment as well because people very great commenting.
Yes.
Oh gosh, where is it? I want to credit the person. It's a great idea. Yes. Mr. Captain, is Vadek a John Harrison type of name? And by that they mean the Khan that is not Khan. J.J. Abrams, the Khan that is not Khan. We promise it's not Khan. Oh, you're lying to every one of the fans. Wow. I mean, it's not a very interesting name. It's sharp sounding, but apart from that.
Normally I would say yes, it's a possibility, but considering Terry Metalis is kind of running calling the shots, I don't think so. They need to find a way to get Data back after his 2 deaths now. I think this is very much like a Star Wars sequel trilogy situation where, Rian Johnson kind of ruined everything and JJ had to come in and kind of fix things. I think that might be the case here where Terry would probably prefer that Data hadn't died like that again.
Yeah.
Because when you're reuniting the cast, you want Data back. You don't just want Brent Spiner back as somebody. I
mean, at least Android. The eyes, the shaved face. I mean, he looked frantic as all hell with a beard in season. At least in season 1, he kind of was a vibe. Season 2 is just guy with beard. It's like,
yeah. I actually saw a video of the actor that plays Moriarty, and he was reading some lines. He also wished the EMH doctor was there so he could get his mobile emitter. Well, I think that was a cameo that was done like 2 years ago.
And by cameo, you mean the service called Cameo, not a cameo in a TV show.
Yes, the service called Cameo. And he said, I would love to come back and be a foil for Jean-Luc Picard. And that was, at that point, it was like, that would be super cool and all that, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's such an obvious character to bring back, especially how good he looks and sounds. I mean, it's a tremendous win-win for everybody.
And James Butler says he thinks that Geordi is just experimenting to try to bring Data back through lore. I can see that as well. Could be one of the reasons. Maybe I was going to say maybe Geordi's pissed at Picard for what happened with Data. Data sacrificed himself, but that doesn't make much sense. So,
if anything, be pissed at Data.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. For not giving him the choice. I mean, I don't know. It's been 2 decades since that. Doesn't really feel right there.
Matt Boardman says, what if in the course of creating the android colony, they found Lore's base code built into the Sin androids, waiting like a virus?
Mm-hmm. No, that's what we said.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing. I mean, if 3 seasons were built by one team, then you'd think that the Sung android colony would be a huge part of any android-themed storyline. Do you think it's going to feature at all? No! But
yeah,
you've literally got Sung's son. Like that, in theory, that's an incredibly important character. Are they even going to reference him?
Mr. Captain 93, yeah, we've thought about that before too. Maybe it wasn't before in the drawer. Maybe Girardi had lore but lied to Picard, or was told it was before and it was actually lore. Yeah. We think we discussed that at the time, that it could possibly be lore in there. But
yeah, or just a replica. I mean, there's no reason. Clearly, if you think the android is more than worthless because the pathways are so inferior, why go search that much?
Yeah. Matt says, I was going to say perhaps it was Data's death that caused a rift between LaForge and Picard. Yeah, but it seems like a silly thing.
I mean, emotions do that to you, obviously. But I mean, so did Picard not talk to his crew for 20 years. It seems like a silly thing.
Oh, yes.
And then Jurati and Raffi being pissed at Picard for her being fired, despite not being remotely what happened, and being pissed at Picard for living in squalor, despite having free power, free food, free electricity, free travel to anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
and living 10 minutes from a giant city hub. Shut the hell up. You know all of his stuff's replicated because his house burned down. You could replicate everything he owns. You idiot. Stop.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. So, no.
Armando Rodriguez, hi, do you think Q's son will return come out of Picard season 3? No. Q Bell is not returning. Don't know why people keep thinking that. I don't think it's going to happen, so.
Yeah.
Um,
Could, should, would be cool, but there's clearly they've taken the approach of, boy, we did some things in the past seasons. Let's really focus on on what we really need and just do that, because the other stuff was not really working.
Darth Maul, Maddox needed a functional, soon-type android and got Lore back together. Simple. I'd buy that as well. Absolutely. I can see Maddox doing that for sure. Because Maddox was a little bit dedicated to his work and the whole android thing. So I could see him thinking there wouldn't be a risk if he took some certain precautions, and it just didn't go well.
Well, and also you would think, even though he murdered his dad, I'm younger. He won't murder me. And there could really be a great scene, just before Brent shaved his beard. No, he had a shaved face for Alton. Or whichever one that was. And that could be a good scene, actually. Flashback to him as Old Sung, bringing back Lore as android Old Sung. There could be a scene there, and maybe oh god, can you imagine, Stuart, if we go full dark side, and after the end of season 1, that they somehow get Lore. Maybe it's like a payback for the Golem. Maybe Sung's request for the Golem is that, hey, give me Lore's body, I want to study it. And I mean, he owes everything to Picard because he brought him back to life. Sends Lore, turns Lore on. Lore escapes, murders everybody in the colony.
Mm-hmm.
And then after season 2, which obviously we know those people did a plot of them doing android rights. But if you want to go full dark side, I mean, that's also taking out a giant plot issue, etc. Yeah. Scott, go to the beginning. We had a long debate about it. I'm not going to go into it again. It's fine. Just we had a long debate about it. It's not an issue. It's silly.
It's been mentioned for
Androids
years
do age
now.
all the time.
Yeah.
Every android all the time.
Yep. Let's see. Indiana Troy at the end of the season. Trailer shows Picard and Riker in their seat positions and Troy missing, but speaks over speaker. Don't know. I don't know why everybody is hoping that somebody dies at the end of the season either. Everybody's like, who's going to die this season? Hopefully nobody.
I mean, they think that because they killed a TNG legacy every year.
Well, it's just a stupid reason to think that, though.
It's just, Q is not dead because he's in every part of the timeline where he's not dead, so he can always turn up, obviously. And even though Picard died, he came back. So both deaths, and Data died, so 2 deaths at the end of season 1. So that's why. Yeah. I mean, they have killed every time.
Yeah, well. Dennis Sheridan, $10.
Thank you.
Keep seeing people say Lore's emotion chip was destroyed with Data. I recall in Brothers that Lore tricked Sung into installing Data's chip in addition to his own. He never needed it to have emotions. No, he wanted to take it from Data, but it conflicted with his own emotions because it wasn't designed for him. And it was removed, and I believe Geordi had possession of it. I don't think it was installed in Data when Data died. Or was it?
Well, it was both fused and not fused. It was fused in his brain in First Contact, removable in Insurrection.
Yeah.
Unstated in Nemesis. I don't believe he talked about one way or the other.
So we don't know exactly where it is.
And yeah, Lore had emotions, but Data's emotions were more advanced, and a program can think they're emoting, and then when they feel real emotions, like, oh my god, because why would because remember Sung the original Sung, it was, you know, like 19 years after the massacre on his planets, where Law caused it. Data was put in a rock cave, you know, put out in a cave to be found. If Sung was developing the new emotions the entire time to help Data become more human, well, they obviously had to be more advanced than Laws, because they would have done it 15 years ago, right? So they are more advanced emotions, or Laws are flawed emotions, ally causing the evil, the evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ash Lemon, if Laura was, if this was Section 31, as previously suggested, good twist would be Giorgio is shown as who has recruited her, because we don't know what time Carl sent her to. They're not going to bring Giorgio into the final season of Picard. They're not going to hitch their wagon to that Discovery buggy. They're not going to do that. They're not going to. It's going to be focused on the TNG crew. They're not going to bring in anybody else like that. That's just silly. Sorry.
So which character, sorry?
Ash Lemon says maybe Laura's working for Section 31 and Giorgio recruited him.
Maybe everything could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Raffi, honestly, should be the one to die. She's the least interesting of the cast.
Yes.
I mean, it's a very high bar, though. The TNG cast, obviously, you know, 170 episodes, give or take, each, versus, you know, 20. You know, oh no, Raffi's not even all of them. Was she in the first? Well, she was in 19, but yeah.
Lazarus says yes, it was on him, unless he took it out before he sacrificed himself.
We don't know.
Well, there is a deleted scene though where it was taken out. He took it out before he went over, and Geordi has it at the end when they're talking about Data after he dies. There's a deleted scene. I know that.
Well,
but
he certainly
that's a deleted scene. Does it count?
No, of course not. Otherwise, you know. Otherwise, Wesley's in Starfleet, etc., etc. There's thing, you know, deleted scenes aren't. Otherwise, by the same logic, like Star Trek 5 has, you know, rock monsters. You know, so why is it deleted? Yeah, you know, the I would not say that Data emoted when he sacrificed himself.
No.
It was minimalist. And honestly, you could see it that, you know, it takes extra 2 minutes because he's an android. He can run really fast, like whatever. You know, if you're doing the ultimate sacrifice, actually having no emotion is probably going to help you. Clinically, do it like you've always done it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When of his emotions helped in an action scenario. He even turns off when he's fighting the Borg the first time because it's like, this is not good. So I can imagine, yeah, it takes out, you know, if you were, well, would you be smart if you worked out that, you know, you reorganized your own body so that you could take it out like a USB stick, you know, something easy, or is it better integrated? Don't know, but you could probably wreck on that just fine.
Yeah. James Butler, is it wrong to hope Picard dies? I just want Patrick Stewart to finish the cycle before he leaves us. Oh, well. No, it's not wrong with... Like, that'd be nice to see an actual definitive death, even though we already have.
Yeah, he already died. I mean, he did die.
He's technically dead. So
yeah, he died.
And Riker just noped out. Hey, bye. I'm gonna chase this Romulan chick.
Yeah, we have.
I hated that so much.
It was as if it was reshot in a week and sucks on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I prefer the idea that these legacy characters. I mean, yes, it's then sad that Nichelle couldn't ever do more Uhura. But that's the company's ever hiring her again. That's the problem, not the fact that she didn't die. But it's really nice to be able to say they had adventures afterwards. You know, they had families, lives, things to do. If you just kill them off, you know, Kirk's a very sad story. You know, he started retiring. He didn't buy a boat, but his friend bought a boat. He was alone, and then he comes back to kill a guy on a bridge and then dies. It's pathetic, right? But it's meant to be. It's like all his life is about Starfleet. He dies in a sad way. It's not heroic. Either it is heroic, it's not heroic. It's a very odd message. Like, if we had known that he had kids, a legacy, friends, a life, you know, would have been so lovely.
Yeah.
But he's more an action hero. Picard is best left as a... And then he went off into the sunset and, you know, his son Beverly suddenly he knew he had, and that made him realize the Picard line is safe. You know, these things are really important. He's all about family, apparently, since generations. He's all about, yeah. And besides, if you, as I say, if you kill off Picard, truly dead, that's it. The Picard, not just him, the Picard line is dead. And given we have Rene Picard was important in Picard, like that's a legacy name. You can never bring back a Picard unless someone Skywalker's it. You know, who are you? I'm Ray Picard. Are you really? Shut up. I say I am, therefore I am. So, okay, good. Yep, thanks. Great. Speaking of great, Stuart, we just released the next Titan animation. It is the Titan A Classic Beauty Shot. That's kind of what I named it in my files. Yeah, Titan doing sexy things in a classic early Trek way.
I haven't even seen it yet, so I'll have to check it out later.
Yes.
James Butler says, okay, the only way I hope Picard survives is that they aesthetically change his android body to be played by James McAvoy. Oh. No. Oh. Ray Picard, yeah. No. That's so wrong, Samuel. No Ray Picard. Yeah, that was bad. But in a good way. So. Just like an Annie. All right, guys, we have 80 likes, 97 people here. Let's try to get to 100 likes. If you have not hit that like button,
do it.
Like. I would like another $30 at least for the super chats, but another 80 would be even better.
Would be superb. And yeah, 80 likes. I mean, clearly 20 of you haven't clicked like. I think that's probably true. Let's get to 100. It's free. It's easy. It's simple. It is a single button on any device. Do it. Do it now. You know, etc. But I think Laura is definitely a strong ass choice. It grounds it in TNG. It grounds it in Legacy. It grounds scenes between Geordi and him. It allows for flashbacks. Maybe we've said, you know, there could absolutely be a scene whereby he's being given memory engrams of Data, and then we see a scene where Data has to talk to Lore. And then you could probably argue that, you know, because Data's in Lore's body, he's also aged, and get a double Brent scene up before that.
Or have that be the de-aging they do, just that conversation. One side of it's de-aged, the other is...
Yeah. Either way, for sure. It's, let's say it gives the depth, you know. It's hard to watch the new villain and not think, okay, it's a Shinzon, not Shinzon, it's a Nero, pointy ship, go pew pew, goes fire. That is all the vibe that we've really given, except, you know, menacing-ish. You know, we don't know yet. It's a couple of lines, but Lore comes with all the baggage, like this single face of his, right? Like his gentle menace is very powerful because Brent does evil quite well. Yeah,
he does. It's very menacing.
And no, James, they made Android Picard because they changed the script a week before, decided to kill him for effect, had no plan for season 2, killed him for effect. Turns out it didn't work, like for the fans. Didn't mention it season 2 really because that show didn't want to deal with it. So it was entirely this isn't working. Let's do a twist. Patrick did not know he was dying until a week before. He did not sign up to die. It was not his storyline. He did not approve it. And given that the whole point of Patrick's story saying he joined Picard was because he really liked their pitch, well, clearly they never gave him his pitch. Especially if each season's different. Imagine how annoyed Patrick Stewart must be. I signed up for this show. We made 3 episodes of that show and 27 of whatever the hell I made. But I was under contract. I didn't ask for this. You know, remember he said no TNG reunion. So now here he is 3 years in. He's really not getting what he signed up for. You know.
Bill Barkley, I'm sticking around for the theory that Troy dies.
Why?
Isn't Sirtis retired or something? They're all kind of retired, honestly.
Well, no, I mean they're all still, if they're asked. I mean they're not
Yeah.
working actors, but I don't think, you know. It's like well, Patrick Stewart's older than all of them. He's not retired. I mean, obviously he's the showrunner name, but you know.
Yeah.
I mean Betty
He was
White.
retired.
I mean
He came out of retirement for this.
huh?
He was retired. He came out of retirement for the show.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
No. I remember the year before, and he was not retired remotely. No. He was actively saying in his living room to me and Dad, like, "No, I'm doing this film. I've got this other thing next year. I'm learning the piano for it. I'm just not being called as much as I want to be, but I'm energized by working. I need to keep working. This is what I'm here for." Like he never's going to retire if he can afford it, as in health wise. No, he's none of them have retired. There's not often work because they're so legacyly known, which was an easy payday because they could just come in and play their characters again and boom, press, interviews, coverage. You know, like Betty White was acting until she died. You know, didn't retire age-wise. Someone did retire. I guess technically Kess retired into jail. The
Cisco's retired. Avery Brooks.
Yeah, in essence, he hasn't had a job in a very long time, but he's not well, so. But it's like, is it retired or just not acting anymore? If you're not offered a season 3, are you cancelled or it's not renewed? Because if you finish the season, you're not always off. A renewal is not by default. Cancelled is more a case of you get to the end of the season, we're not doing season 4. That's a cancel versus numbers come out. We don't want a season 4, which won't do a new one. Like there's a difference there. Might be subtle, but if you're just not given work, are you retired? No, just not working. So okay. Just sad because if we were billionaires, we'd hire them all, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd have Brent play loads of different parts because all their ranges are quite large. They just don't get given it.
Well, we have 91 votes in the poll. Let's get another 9, get to 100 votes.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 92 likes.
Mm-hmm.
So another 8 likes to get to 100 likes would be awesome, guys. Picard's totally going to die. I can see them killing Picard at the end of the season. I've said that a few times, but I'm kind of at the stage now where I don't want them to. But who knows? Lore's back, but what happened to B4? Perhaps Lore and B4 were merged and will be known as B-Lore. Yeah, there's also supposed to be that tie-in with DS9 for the series, or the season. I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, Robert Duncan's not retired because he was in Lower Decks as a voice actor like a year ago.
He's also a director and...
But I think he means an actor retired, but he voice acted last year. I think he was no, it wasn't Stowe, but like they're not. You offer them work they want to do, they'll do it.
Yeah.
Especially in Star Trek. I mean, who actually says no to, like Eccleston said no to Doctor Who. He said a hard no. Very few actors just say no. So yeah, $28 would be superb. Shall we end this current poll?
Go for it.
Okay, 90 votes. I'm more excited for Law's return, Moriarty return, or the new Vadik. Cut at the rear is Vadik with 7%. Moriarty 43, which makes another 50%. Stuart, 2 in a row. My goodness, Law is the winner today.
Yeah. It's interesting. This Vadik had better be a good character, is all I can say. Because I don't care about her at this point.
But why would you?
Exactly.
I mean,
I just hope it's a good story. I hope it ties in with something.
It's like, do you really care about the Titan captain yet? Yeah.
I care about him more than Vadik.
Yes, but funny often works. And I've just put the link to today's Trekyards Titan Tuesday video out. Check it out, one and all. Hope you guys like the hard work put in. Jupiter Station is involved.
Nice. Love me some Jupiter Station.
I mean, it's not actually Jupiter Station, but it's a Jupiter Station class.
Dennis Sheridan said Brett was definitely alluding to some merging of lore, data, and B4 on stage at New York Comic Con. Yeah, and I think that's, from what we've seen in the trailer, I think that's very likely. I didn't think to include B4 in there, but that would be quite interesting.
I mean, they lie, don't say things. I don't know. It's such a varied thing, you know.
And then they say things they're not supposed to.
Yeah. And then they'll get in trouble, etc.
If she's Picard's long lost daughter, I'll laugh. Ugh.
I mean, I think we all will.
Yeah. Watch this. It'll be his daughter, and the young guy will be his son. And the son and the daughter are at odds with each other. So he finds out he has two kids. They're trying to kill each other. For some reason. Oh my goodness.
Classic Pharrell's comment, Stuart. Go.
Just imagine a scene before walking alone along a desert with a random person asking him, "Who are you?" His reply, "Data Picard." After burying his comm badge and motion chip in the sand. That's how it's going to end, guys.
Canon confirmed.
That's great. 3 more likes to get to 100 likes. Still need another $28 if possible. So somebody wants to throw in some super chats would be great. Our last super chat. Snipe War would be awesome right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, Bruce did actually retire. An actual retirement. Yeah. Illness, etc.
Aphasia.
Well, also, I mean, he also had memory issues and something else. You know, he couldn't remember dialogue, so actually.
It's kind of a shame, actually, because his career went to shit, just straight to video, like movies.
Well, he knew he was ill for like 6 or 7 years, so he thought, "Oh, I'm just gonna do the gigs, bank up the money for my kids, and then retire." And yeah.
I mean, the whole hinting as a movie they did, so it makes me think nobody is really dead. Nobody is really dead, ever, especially in Star Trek.
Yeah, Picard died, brought him back instantly.
Nobody's ever really gone.
Yeah.
Copies of himself, I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe the Horcruxes of lore. The lore cruxes! Amazing.
Floppy disk war. You guys. That was a really good discussion for most of this.
Well, because it's such a fundamental TNG staple, and you know, Data is one of the 2 to 3, you know, top 3 most loved characters of TNG. This is official brother and nemesis. That gets you right up there. It's like you know, Kern, because his Worf's brother is higher up in the list than he could otherwise be. Tasha's sister for other reasons.
Yes.
So what a deep cut that would be to bring her back. My goodness. We brought back a Yar, just not the Yar. What was her name? Elia? Something like that?
I don't.
I feel like it's... That woman's still alive. I feel like she must be. Ishara. I knew it was I. Haha. Ishara Yar. Wow, what a... Ishara Yar.
Which came first, Beta or VHS tapes? Beta, by barely a little bit. We had a bit of a war. VHS went out. What does that have to do with anything?
So Beth is 60 years old, who played Ishara. What the hell is happening on IMDb right there? That's a thing. Okay, there we go.
IMDb's been acting up a bit.
Now, she hasn't acted since 2006, apparently. So that's a thing. Oh, what? She was Anna Sheridan in Babylon 5. What? Did not know that.
Really?
What? That looks super different.
Oh, here we go with this shit. James Butler. I think Raffi was spraying something in her eye. Lorca-esque. No, she's not from the Mirror Universe. That was never a thing. No, they have the line of dialogue
They
that
look
says it
nothing
was.
alike. How is she the same actress? What the hell?
It's just like Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing. She got a nose job, and now she looks nothing like she used to.
Yeah? Well, no, it says characters recast. Okay. What?
And Brian O'Neill Singleton, for whatever reason, Riker doesn't sound like Riker in a scene from season 3, more like Q teasing Picard. Could Q be back? Yeah, I thought the same thing. It definitely didn't sound like something that Riker would say to Picard, especially in that tone. So there's something a little off there for sure. Ronan Fahy. Remember, for 6 months at the rank of captain. Thank you, Captain. They said nobody is safe, but think they also said everybody would be able to play their characters in other productions. So perhaps time travel reset. Mirror Universe data. Oh. Thomas Riker. It could be Thomas Riker. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Bring Thomas Riker back.
I've said it before.
98 likes. We only need 2 more likes.
Ah, come on. Yes. Yes. Can we get another $8? I'll lower the goal. Yeah. Still nice.
Another $10 would be great.
Right there.
But yeah, I'm kind of lured out for some reason. I'm a little bit tired today.
I've been up for 13 hours, so you know, takes a lot to film for the thing. But go check out the animation play. Those things, you know, need your views because I put time into them. So to vote with your comment. If you comment on it right now, the algorithm will help the first boost. So you know, put it in there for sure. Tomorrow will be something else on something else. This is a fun trailer to talk about. We've got more things, bobs, whatever. There'll be an edited video tomorrow as well.
Lots of good stuff.
We are running down the clock fast on Picard Season 3.
That's good. And Matt Boardman throws in $10. But there you go. Thank you so much, man.
There it is.
And we hit 100 likes as well. So
hey!
awesome.
That was for Stuart. Good man, good man.
All right.
All right.
Call it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll have more lives this week, and as Samuel just said, edited content. So there's lots to talk about. We're happy to do so. But
he's right.
I know I am. I'm always right.
Well, that's
I was right from somebody's point of view.
Yeah. But he's always the captain from every point of view.
True.
Yes.
He's always the commander.
Except that one time I was given promotion and I lost it in the same live.
Always a commander, never a captain.
Yes. So until tomorrow, guys. Preston M makes another blue, apparently.
Yes.
Crazy.
$1 for Preston. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, he's going to follow Alcohol. We'll see you next time.